I've seen it. I can stop it.
Who cares?
Viewer discretion is advised.
Talking Gotham. 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 Talking Gotham.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam. Welcome to Talking Gotham, Episode 3, where we review the Fox TV show Gotham. And minus Oswald Cobblepot's compulsion to talk about war a lot, he is a very compelling human being. But my name is Ryan Cam. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are talking about Season 1, Episodes 4, 5, and 6. First up, I have to introduce my co-host. First up from 3D Movie Cinema is Jacob Collins in his finest Jaws shirt. He's single, ladies.
Why should you think that? First off, but no.
It's also the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yes, I saw this at Walmart, and I'm like, I have to have this.
Did you know that they're re-releasing it in theaters on somewhere in August? That the tickets are on sale for that now.
Why wouldn't you do it on like the day it came out, which was a couple of days, like last weekend? Like, it makes no sense.
Who knows?
They're like Megan 2 is going to do so well. Universal's like Megan 2 is going to do so well. We can't hurt Megan 2.
Dude, F1 performed better on opening than Megan 2.0.
Between Megan 2.0's failure and Jason Blum's recent interviews on podcasts and New York Times, me in the future put the Bill Maher clip of him saying the picture's worth 1,000 words, but none of those words should be "look at that idiot," but with Jason Blum's face here.
You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but none of those words should be, look at that idiot.
Just put it here. But Matt Wyatt, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm really excited to get into some of the 3 episodes. I will admit that the episode, the 6th episode, Spirit of the Goat, is our least favorite. We're all in the sabbatical for that. But speaking for the releases, as we're recording right now, next week, James Gunn's Superman movie will be released in theaters on opening day next week. As we're recording now, because we recorded on Thursday, and once this episode airs, it will already be 2 days before. That's crazy that we're getting close to this release.
The wait is almost over.
And also the review embargo of Superman would drop then on Tuesday.
Yeah. So go read the reviews. Don't watch this, okay? And just go watch the reviews, and then come back and watch this after when you got your Superman review fixed. Come watch us review Gotham. I think honestly that by the time, so we will, obviously we're not going to be able to record next Thursday when we usually record.
No, I already got my tickets booked on a Thursday, July 10th.
So we're going to have to do it on a Wednesday or so that way we can. By the time that episode airs, that we will have already seen.
Also, for the people who are Prime members who booked their tickets on the Tuesday, people who already went to go see Superman.
Yeah, so that's just going to be weird. It's like this is the last episode before people have seen Superman,
I know, it's insane that we're now close. I mean, remember years ago when we were doing Small Talk? We've been talking about nothing about the anticipation of Superman.
Yeah, either we're going to be very happy or it's going to be like a Flash situation with me and Ryan are going to be like, so we're here to talk about Superman.
It's awful. Wow. And Matt Wyatt's like, it wasn't that bad, guys. Literally, he's the dog in the room on fire. Like, this is fine.
Ryan's like, I don't see nothing wrong with this. Like, Ryan's like, the house is on fire, bro. And Ryan's like, hey, it's just put some water on it. You're good. But no.
Well, that's for Superman. And speaking of Superman, the Man of Steel review will be coming to the channel very soon. So stay tuned for that. That will be the official end of the road to James Gunn's Superman. I can't believe that's real, but that will be coming up very soon. But enough about Superman. Let's get into some Batman talk, and let us get into talking about Gotham. But before we do, if you like this show, leave a like, subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that. But let's kick things off with Season 1, Episode 5, called Viper.
You want some excitement.
Yes, I do.
How's it? Excited now?
Next Monday,
Put it down!
Arkham was only the beginning. We're taking over.
every villain
I used to work for Fish Mooney until they tried to kill me. Hello.
needs a hero.
Someone's lying to me. I don't know which one, and the both of yous will die.
Fascinating.
Gotham, followed by Sleepy Hollow, all new next Monday on Fox.
Matt, the floor is yours.
All right. This episode aired on October 20th, 2014, and it's directed by Tim Hunter. And Bruce plans to find a way to speak to the board members of Wayne Enterprises to learn their connections to the Arkham District Project. A new drug called Viper, a prototype of Venom, is hitting the street, endowing the user with super strength, but eventually killing them. What did you think of this whole opening sequence with this homeless man on a guitar and got money, and then he got the drug of that Viper, and that gave him incredible strength, then dozing off the fucking milk and of the fucking milk jug and nearly destroying a lot of the ATM and carrying it out? Like, what?
I'm
I was
not
waiting
gonna
for you to
lie.
say-
It made me laugh seeing that homeless guy have a sign that says, "Why lie? It's just for drugs." I'm like, yeah, way to like people gonna donate to you for that, but some guy literally goes like, "Here." I'm like, I guess he doesn't need the money that bad after all.
I mean, when I was in Vegas, I saw a guy on Fremont Street that held a sign that says, "I need weed." So I was like, okay, at least he's honest. So, I mean, yeah, there are people out there like that have just like, I don't even lie, which, I think the funny thing to me is, the guy's drinking milk and all of a sudden I'm just like, this could have been an ad for Got Milk. Just like for just to say, after he was drinking the milk, this Got Milk, just an ad, like me and Ryan for a while back.
Got Milk.
Ads they had for back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
They did for every movie.
Got Milk ad that hits harder than the one that Jeff Gordon and Stone Cold Steve Austin did in the 90s.
Which I laughed so hard though whenever he was running with the ATM, because I'm like,
That was so funny. I mean, you realize how bad that campy CG effect looked when he was carrying that ATM. Then he was lifted it up, and he was nearly deteriorating and just falls on his head.
I
Like, he
mean,
lifted it up like he was the ultimate warrior or something. Like, "Speak to me, warrior!" It was crunch.
And you brought this, Jake. You brought this up to me in a DM on Instagram earlier, that it felt like more of a Viper, more like a Venom drug, like Bane uses in the Batman.
I'm glad you said that, because I actually have some background information.
I didn't realize that until you like brought that up in my DM earlier today, and it's like, oh god, that is like a reference to Bane.
It is, because it says Viper is mentioned to be a prototype in the episode of Venom. So, and that's Bane's
Right.
drug. Which I'm not saying if he does or doesn't appear in the show, but I'm just saying that is a nod to Bane
Yeah.
in the show. Which also, there's a couple of interesting facts in this episode. The song that Fish trains Lisa to sing is O Mer Babinin Caro. It's Italian for "Oh My Beloved Father," from the opera of Gianni Socci by Giacomo Panucci. And the scene where Falcone first meets Lisa in the park was filmed in front of the prison ship Mater's Monument in Forest Green Park, New York. Yeah, so that's some background information. Yeah. There's not a lot of background information on these episodes, I'm just saying, but like
Not really, no.
That was like literally reading the trivia from the Wikipedia page on this episode.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's cool though. We got like a nod to Bane in this episode.
Yeah. I had no idea that they were referencing Bane. I cannot believe I didn't think about that at the time. I was like, oh, right. They're using that as a prototype of a little bit of a drug, Venom, that gives them enhanced strength. And this was just a prototype that they're roaming around the city, using them as guinea pigs for the citizens of Gotham.
Yeah, which I honestly, when I first saw this, I was kind of mad. I'm like, why even have the drug out there if you're not going to have, like, why not just call it Venom? But I'm like, it's a prototype. And as the show goes on, you'll understand why that's not the official drug yet, because the official drug has not been created yet.
Right.
Which I will say, the thing about this episode is, this is what I had issues with this episode, where, okay, so in my notes, okay, I have right here, that's Penguin's Umbrella. Hold All right, so the company deny. All right, the company denies any wrongdoing, but then Gordon mentions to the employee, "Oh, what about this employee?" And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, now so we got to be okay." And then they basically backtrack their whole statement. I'm like, right
Yeah.
there, you're already you can't trust them because they're lying already. I mean,
Yeah, they're obviously lying their asses off. They're just trying to cover their tracks.
although I did laugh when Jim and I laughed when Jim and Harvey were here, like they're eating lunch, and all of a sudden Jim's like Harvey's just scarfing down food, and all of a sudden like Gordon hears the alarm, and he's like, "It's lunch." Harvey's like, "It's lunchtime, man. It's
That
lunchtime."
that made me laugh a little bit. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, when he tries to when Jim Gordon was chasing after Selena in the streets.
It's
First of all,
lunch.
why would you sneak out in the open in daytime in broad fucking daylight where everybody can see you right in front of
He-
Jim Gordon? You're literally stalking him.
well, she's stalking
He's all
everybody.
hopped up. He's all hopped up on Grinch farts. Like all logic has left the building.
That's true.
What?
I'll continue on for this episode. Meanwhile, Maroney plans to rob a casino owned by Falcone, and Cobblepot offers less casualty plan, forcing him to reveal his past, which Maroney believes after Gordon confirms it. The latter learns that Viper is being distributed at the charity event held by Will Zen and Wayne Enterprises.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about that scene? At first, I'm like mad because I'm like, why would Penguin tell the truth? That is the stupidest thing ever. Like, you told this guy all your cards. Now this guy's literally, which I mean, he didn't tell all of his cards.
And you gave away all your cards, all your whole deck of cards, and gave away the whole thing. Like, that was not very bright for Cobblepot to reveal everything.
He thinks you're a spy or something, and then you're just gonna blow your brains out. Like, he's like, okay, so someone that worked with Falcone, and which I honestly thought the thing when Gordon, they made Gordon show up, and Penguin, they beat the shit out of Penguin. He's just sitting there with a black eye and everything. He's just sitting there. And he's like, I want you to tell me the exact same story you told him, or else I'm going to go in there and I'm going to kill him. And it's like
slice him up, prosciutto. I'm like,
And
yes, forget it, sir. You are Italian.
Well, yeah. Well, Maroney would definitely snitch on Falcone that he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing, killing Cobblepot when he was ordered to do that in the first place, and that would fuck everything up around him. So he needed to make sure that the story is accurate.
Which I love whenever he tells me the exact same story. He goes, he didn't lie. He said, bring him back over here. He brings the set back there. He goes, which. Oh, I love that so much though. Whenever he's like, Gordon's just sitting there and he's like, can I go now? And he's like, yeah, we'll call you if we need you. And I'm just thinking like, this is not Gordon. I'm just thinking out, Gordon, you already got Falcone. Like, you're making friends with the wrong people, and you're not wanting to make friends with these people. These people just that keep going in your life. Like, fuck, now I got Maroney on my ass. I have Falcone on my ass. Now I got Maroney. He goes, oh my God, what am I doing that's wrong?
He has more enemies than friends. And even
He's
his
got
friends
one
are
point.
really questionable.
He's literally caught in the middle of the gang war between Marone and Falcone. He can't get himself out of this. This is like too much.
Which, let me ask you this though: what do you think about Fish coaching the prostitute?
I mean, I have a feeling I know where Fish is trying to go and trying to do, but she can't sing. Like she wasn't able to sing all that well in her audition, and she couldn't really do it here. So I'm like, get a singer maybe? I don't know.
Which I'm just saying, like Fish, like
that was so bad.
And then Falcone just like sitting there playing with chickens and everything, and all of a sudden, like then Fish. I did not like Fish fucking the Russian guy at the end. Nikolai, I just did not like that.
I didn't understand their relationship. What's her relationship with the Russian dude?
Well, remember, like, because Penguin told Falcone she is working. They're having sex. They pretend to hate each other because she wants to get him to be the top boss. He was going to kill you and be the top boss, and Fish will be a side gal. Then Fish is going to kill him, and then Fish will own the Gotham. That is literally that's what they, America's Penguin tells him that. And America's, he said, whenever he said, if you spare my life, remember the very last episode we watched? He said, if you spare my life, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you a good story. And then he says, "Okay, let's hear it." And then he tells him everything, like Fish is playing you and everything. And that's like where that's why Falcone.
That's something we'll get into the episode
Yeah.
we'll cover. That's jumping a little ahead.
That's why, but that's why he explained that they're having sex together, and that's why.
Yeah.
I think honestly, but I did not like them. Like I'm like Fish does not like she would not like do all the work. I just feel like Fish is the person that she would be the one tied up, and he would be doing all the work to her because she
Right.
needs to be in power and command. She doesn't want. But I understand she's playing the field because she wants to pretend like I'm your side chick, even though in real life she's like, no, you are like I said, you're just my boy toy, And I think, I don't know, Fish Mooney. I have a love-hate relationship.
I don't like that character. I really can't stand
I
her.
like some things about her, but then there's one thing she does to Penguin in I think the last episode that I thought was great, but then. There are sometimes like that, like the last week's episode when she goes, I will kill him with my bare hands and my teeth. I'm like, that's a terrible freaking line.
That is overacting. That was an overacting line delivery.
And my teeth. I'm just like, what? I'm like, no, can we go again? That's not. You remember you were also nominated for.
They probably went over that take 100 times, and then someone in the editing room didn't see what the fuck. We can't pick which one that works, so we're gonna have to go with this one for this take.
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. There you go.
Harvey saying we will help you die quicker. Like I thought that was so funny when he told the bad guys, "We will help you die quicker, terrorist." Oh man,
who talks like that?
That's stupid. That's funny. So we will help you die quick. Oh man, and takes the. So you can't kill me.
That was. I was like, God damn.
I'm just like, Harvey. Do you think before you speak, Harvey? Do you? I was like obviously the man's dying. So really, there's nothing.
Yeah.
What did you think about Bruce trying to he's been I like the idea Bruce was just doing doing case files and falls asleep, and then Alfred's like, why don't we go to Wayne Enterprises and do some research? And then Bruce the second, you could tell he's not Batman yet because second he walks in and goes, yeah, so I hear you're using a company to basically funnel illegal stuff through the company. And I'm just like, why would you even Alfred's even like, why would you even think of that?
You just know this woman is gonna talk out of both sides of her neck, and she does. So much to learn, Master Bruce.
Subtlety, Bruce. Keyword subtlety.
Subtlety, Master Bruce.
She's not. You got to get them to trust you to eventually confess to you. If you confront them with a hot, I know you did it. You think they're gonna be like, you got me. Yeah, it's true.
I will sign my resignation in the morning. I'm like, no.
You know they're going to give you BS answers.
Also, the company denies any wrong. Okay, obviously, Harvey says, this is what made me like Harvey. This is the pot calling the kettle black. Is when he says, lawyers scum, all of them. The lawyers are all scum. And I'm like, you are a crooked cop. That is the pot calling the kettle black. Dude, you work for a mob boss, okay? You have no room. Really, I'm just like, you literally have no room to say anything.
No.
What did you think, Matt, what did you think, though, whenever he was going to gas everyone in the Wayne Enterprises and then make them, rage Hulk out, rage virus?
I don't know how I felt about that. That was not really the best plan at all.
This guy just walking around doing this. Drop, drug. Just dropping drug after drug.
He's dropping drug from every street corner from one another.
I'm like, what would have happened if one of them took the drug and they like it so much they grab you and then they take all your drugs or something?
And also he commits suicide, which that was pretty funny. I don't know that was not the smart plan.
What was also pretty funny is Harvey and Gordon going to see his mentor, and his mentor being like, he's going to bring about the thing. I'm like, well, this is a choice that they are making, by God.
I just it reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen Lake Placid.
No.
Oh, I love Lake Placid.
So it's like Betty White's character when she goes Oh yeah, I did it. I killed him. Like, you're just like, what the, like, just randomly saying like the truth. You're like, what? It just reminded me of that moment where it's like she's just so bluntly honest and just saying horrible things. You're like, what? Like, I was not expecting that to happen. It's kind of like that. That's what it reminded me of in that movie, where he was like, "Yep, I trained him. Yeah, and we're gonna bring about the end." And I'm like, "Wow, okay." Well, Harvey's just like, "Let's get him. Let's take him in." And all of a sudden, he goes, like, I'm like, oh,
It feels like he's trying to be Bane.
This guy,
I am Bane before Bane.
This guy was more of a badass Hulk than the Hulk in the past 3 MCU movies, but I digress.
This made She-Hulk look better.
Yeah.
Let's not go quite that far.
Also, yeah, I don't know. I thought that, there was some things I did like about it. I thought I still hated the whole Barbara and Montoya being like,
it gets
maybe
even
I'm just
worse
being a
in the
little
GOAT
jealous.
episode. It gets worse in the GOAT episode.
And I'm like, stop. It wasn't as bad this one. There's like one scene. The next episode, they heavily dunked on that. And then the next episode,
it's so bad in the GOAT episode.
It gets, dude, the GOAT episode gets the worst.
But I will say, I do like though that the whole idea that Bruce is doing case files and everything, and I like that Alfred's trying, really trying to be there, to help him out and everything. And I'm just like,
I mean, in reality, I don't think he would have allowed him to do that, especially a 12-year-old trying to crack the case, the whole criminal cases. Like, really?
He's 12. I mean,
he's fucking 12 years old. You're just slowly transitioning into Batman. You're not there yet, Bruce. You have to study criminology.
Bruce is going to be on the roof with a cape and going.
I feel like the writers of the show, they are really trying to give him more to do on the show since they made him a regular, and even though it's not heavily focused on Bruce's character in particular, but it feels like, oh god, come on, really? I just don't find it believable. I just like, really.
I mean, I kind of like the idea that a 12-year-old, because the idea it always has been like, I mean, the Bruce Wayne died. I mean, this is in the comics. Like once he died, like he kind of
I get the idea, but he's not 100% at his fullest yet.
He's not. I always say, I don't know if you've ever seen the Arkham Origins TV spot where it had a picture. It's like a trailer that Tim Miller made.
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
Where it has a gunshot where he sees him as a little kid. You hear the gunshot. And then you see him as at his funeral with his parents. He's like this.
And then you see the school getting bullied, and then you see him training in the Shaolin monks, and then he's transitioning into the full Batman.
Remember
his
that
full transformation.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, I know. I remember that promo.
That was a great. I mean, I always remember that. I always think of that when I was watching Gotham.
It almost feel like you're watching a short prologue opening of Batman more.
Yeah.
And that way you completely understand the transition from Bruce to Batman. The tragedy of the death of his parents. He's slowly now becoming the Batman, but he's not at his fullest. Because in Gotham, even though he is Batman, but he's not fully at this full 100% capacity. He's still a child learning and discovering about himself.
Like he doesn't even have a driver's license yet. Come on.
I know.
Each season he does get closer to becoming Batman.
I like the idea that he's grown up so quickly now that his childhood has been destroyed.
I mean, yeah, he's like, look, because I said, there was something in the next episode I thought was really well done. But I honestly, which by the way, Matt Ryan, if you can find that clip, the YouTube trailer of from Arkham Origins of Bruce Wayne,
Oh, I can definitely find that trailer easily.
Because Ryan put that in this week's episode, I mean, the audience can see what we're talking about.
Is that the one where Alfred's yelling at Bruce near the helicopter? That one?
No,
it's the one where you see him as a child. It's a TV spot. And you see him as a child. Bruce Wayne as a kid for Arkham Origins, and he looks up, and all of a sudden he hears a gunshot, and it's boom, and then you see him at his funeral. Boom.
You're seeing the full transition from Bruce from the death of the parents, then the funeral, then switching into his high school days, getting bullied in school, then he's in a training as the Batman. Then you see Batman.
Then he gets hit as Batman by Bane, and then
don't worry, I found the video. I got it. I'll share it to you.
And I thought that's a great trailer that summarizes his arc. Like, this is a child that died in the alleyway, and then you see him as an adult, as Batman. And that's, I mean, we all feel like this is the most messed up thing. And it's like, I always like in The Dark Batman Begins how Gordon comforts him. And I like that they brought that to Gotham, where Gordon's like, I promise you, Bruce, I am going to find your parents' killer. If it's the last thing
but they did. Yeah, they wanted to do something different where he wanted to be more of like the father figure to Bruce, the surrogate father.
Even though Alfred's right there. I mean, like, Alfred's right there.
Yeah, I think by the time he gets to be Batman as an adult in the show, we are like, dude, Gordon should have put 2 and 2 together. I haven't seen how it plays out in the end of the show, but I think he should know it then.
I think if you're a Batman fan, I think you will love the final season. That's all I'm gonna say. You will love the final season. You know, which I will say. I will say I do like though that the company, you do find out that Wayne Enterprises, it's a prototype for Venom, because I'm a huge Bane fan, so I'm like, I love Bane, so I'm just like thinking like, oh, I say it would have been really cool at the end if they would have had like test subjects, and if it would have said Eduardo Sanchez from from Corto Maltese, because that would have been that's Bane, been on a file, that'd been cool or something, or they would have been Wayne Enterprises testing on prisoners from Corto Maltese. Then I'd be like, I see, you get it, but I understand this is proto Venom. So
John Glover makes a cameo for reasons, but it's always nice to see him.
Bane of humanity. I was like,
by overnight mail. But let's go to scores. Collins, 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this. I thought it was a 6 out of 10.
Okay, Matt.
I give it. I'm gonna give this a 7. A solid episode.
I'm gonna go with Matt. I'll go 7. I liked it. I thought it was very well done, building more things. But
I thought I was being generous by the 6. I'm like, I couldn't think of nothing else that happens in this episode. I'm like, and I wrote notes, and I'm like, there's nothing really else that happens besides what I wrote. I'm like,
but we must go from the penthouse to the outhouse. Let's get into season 1, episode 6, called "Spirit of the Goat."
I am the spirit of the goat. This body may fail, but I will not.
Something changed them.
I will always come back. I will always come back.
Let's catch him quick. What you have is a conspiracy. You do not have a lone killer here.
It's so dangerous.
I'm afraid we're never going to stop this.
Gotham, followed by Sleepy Hollow, all new next Monday on Fox.
Matt.
This episode aired on October 27th, 2014, and it's directed by TJ Scott. And 10 years ago, a mass killer calling himself the Spirit of the Goat targets the firstborn of Gotham's elite, leading Bullock and his partner Dix to investigate the case. They find the killer, Randall Mikey, who is shot down by Bullock after Dix falls through a trapdoor and ends up badly injured. In the present day, Bullock finds another elite firstborn murdered by someone with the same goat motive. Yeah, I had mixed feelings of this episode of the Spirit of the Goat.
I did not like this
episode. A lot of goat references, folks.
The twist was a fuck you. Okay, the twist was the stupidest fuck you ever. I thought it was like a guy.
It was the therapist the whole time. God.
And I'm like, I could have swore Brian Fuller saw this and was like, I can use this for Hannibal.
Well, how she went out was kind of lame. It was like,
I did this. Like that.
I did this because Gotham is sick and it's the rich. I'm like, great job. You're a real Hasanabi. Like, you're really saying eat the rich on that.
I saw that coming from a mile away. That the hypnotherapist was the one responsible for the goat killing the firstborn Gotham elite, the corruption. Like, come on. This was so lame of how they went out.
She runs down the stairs and Bullock, possibly hungover, is able to shoot a shot through her leg and incapacitate her. I'm like, the guys from Top Shot couldn't even make that.
I found that very funny. I found that very funny that she tries to escape. She's using that. She used her own patient as a fucking diversion for her to escape the fucking place, and that just went so poorly. It's done so poorly.
In the words of Tony Stark, not a great plan.
I
you
do
go.
love how it starts out where the guy goes, "I am the spirit of the goat. I am the spirit of the goat." And I'm like, "Oh, this is creepy. Is it going to be they're hunting down a serial killer that's just brutally murdering people?" I'm like, "That's going to be cool. I'm on board."
No,
then,
it's
Nope.
literally Iron Man 3. It starts out a good idea, and then you strip it all away. It's just another dude in a suit.
I agree. It's like, turns out he's just a janitor. Hey,
Is he gonna figure out the variables like Goodwill Hunting?
like that? What's that one video? The one of the woman.
He's
that
gonna
looks
figure
like-
out the equation. He sees the equation on the board.
It's not your fault, Raymond. I know. It's not your fault.
You don't know me, man.
Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
Don't-
You
don't
know
don't
me.
fuck
It's
with
not-
me.
It's not your fault.
I had to rate once you brought up the janitor, that had my thought in my head.
I need to rewatch that movie now.
It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
You want to hear
of course.
funny? Do you know that nobody would read that script because no one had faith in Ben Affleck and Matt Damon? So they wrote a
Until
homoerotic
Kevin
scene.
Smith came along.
Well, Kevin
Yeah.
Smith was. They tried to get people to read it until Kevin Smith, and so what they was is they wrote like a homoerotic scene between like the professor, that Stellan Skarsgård plays in Robin Williams, where Stellan Skarsgård gives Robin Williams a blowjob in the scene, and so then of course they
What?
read that, they put that in there. They put that in there because they didn't think nobody would read it, and they said if somebody comes brings that scene up, then that means that they read the script, and no one. They ever gave it to like 5 different studios, and no one read the script except for Harvey Weinstein. And Harvey Weinstein's note was, he goes, "Look, I like the script and all, guys," but he says, "Can we take out the oral sex scene? It makes no sense like 2 straight guys that just have randomly oral sex in the scene." And then they explain why they put that in there. They're 2 heterosexual guys. Why would you just be blowing? Probably.
I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Back to this episode. Upon surgery, Bullock sees Mikey's trademark, which only he and Dix knew, meaning that he was not a copycat. During a debrief, Dix tells Gordon about Bullock's enthusiasm for justice. To Gordon's surprise, Bullock deduces that hypnotherapist Marks concerned both Mikey and the new killer to become the GO to scare Gotham's rich and corrupt, leading to Mark's arrest. Yeah, which we already brought that part up, and that the hypnotherapist, that whole anticlimactic scene was so stupid.
Like some therapist, I'd rather buy Colin Mockery with a lollipop going, "You find me very attractive." Like this woman's not a therapist.
Is Will just gonna sing "Afternoon Delight"? The hypnotherapist. Remember that in scene, the hypnotherapist to Will. Afternoon delight.
I mean, I do like that we have Harvey's backstory, which is played by the guy from I believe the Addams Family, the first Addams Family movie.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that guy.
Yeah, he's the one that's working, with the.
They also wanted to show a little. This was more of Harvey's episode, if you really think about it. They wanted to give us a little bit more emphasis on the character, where he's not just a scum. He was just a guy who was led down by the wrong path, and now he has to play the long game in this whole corruption. And that's what it felt like. Like, because Gordon reminded him of himself when he was a rookie on the job.
Also, here's the thing. Edward is just Nigma is fucking over Miss Kringle by reorganizing all of her files. Because literally, imagine if you had your movie shelf. I have my movie shelf as it is, and then Ryan comes in and goes, "Hey, Jacob, I did it alphabetically now." And I'm like,
dude, that woman looked way too attractive to make me believe that she's a file cabinist.
It's like that. Is that hot cliche?
It feels like they're doing a matching glasses, that the attractive who are the nerd who has glasses, and suddenly you're smart.
Miss Kringle, Kristen Kringle.
And she was so pissed that he reorganized her file cabinet that she set up for herself.
I did think it was really, really funny though. Like, I thought it was really funny. Though whenever he was just like, "Do you want me to quit her?" He goes, "No, I want you here." And he's like, "Oh God," he's obsessed with her, And I'm like, I do like that.
That was so creepy.
I do, but I like that because he's the Riddler, so I like that we're starting to get those little breadcrumbs.
At least he's trying not to be too on the nose. Like, riddle me this. Like, no, dude, we know you're the fucking Riddler, dude. We're not that
we're
dumb.
starting to get those.
We've already got the coffee mug with the question mark on it. That's the least subtle thing in this.
At least
show.
they made it like least unsettling in this episode. Like, dude, we get it. We know who you are.
I do like that we're getting these breadcrumbs of the Riddler. Like, we're getting these sprinkled breadcrumbs. Like, okay, like you see the question mark, and then you see that he's nutty in the head and he's obsessed. Kind of like how Jim Carrey was obsessed with Bruce Wayne. He's obsessed with this woman because he's like, I want her. She's going to be mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Only he plays it a little more subtle than he doesn't play it like Jim Carrey, where he goes, "You were supposed to understand.
I will make you understand."
And then just leaves question marks around, like
leaving a bunch of riddles.
Yeah, which I will say, Enigma, fucking over Miss Kramer, I like that. Although, Penguin applaud, telling his mother and stuff that him and Jim are friends, I thought that was pretty cool. Although I did not like when him, he was in the tub and his mom was giving him a bath. I'm like, I could have done that.
I know it's a big nitpick, but here I don't know how time has passed from that last week's episode, but he had bruises and he got the crap kicked out of him. Suddenly it magically heals. It's television bullshit magic. 1 week later, his bruise healed.
I was watching that scene and thinking to myself, even Norman Bates would be like, guys, 6 feet. Like, allow some room for the Lord. Like, come on.
They leaned too much on Bates Motel. That was a little creepy what Norman Bates does throughout the show for his mom.
I will say I did like though. I will say I did like making about a joke about the therapist. He says, "You know what they say about therapists, like the rapist. Am I right?" And I'm just like we're just like, "You're an idiot." Look at him like you're an idiot. Like I'm just like, it's Barbie. That is literally like Barbie's just like, and then he realizes, wait a minute, and then he's like, and then he kind of already knew everything, but he was just like trying to, and then and then just confronts her. Which to me, I'm like, why wouldn't you bring police with you? Why would you only just go there? You go there on a hunch, even if it's a really hot hunch. Why not go there police? That way, if you're wrong, you're like, I'm so sorry, my bad. Worst case scenario. Best case scenario, she's the person, and then you have her arrested.
Why would you not bring any backup unit to crack your location? And Bullock Harvey just went all by himself when he's so fucking hungover.
Yeah. And also, I do like that they show up with the body at the beginning where there's a woman, where the woman's just.
It looked like they took notes from fucking Hannibal show.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done. And then he calls Gordon, and he's on the phone, and the Riddler's trying to. And then Edward's like, "What?" He says, "You answer my riddle. What is this?" And he goes, "Shut up." And he's like,
he gets annoyed by his riddles.
Shut up.
I mean, Harvey's annoyed by a lot of things, so.
He's annoyed by Jim. I mean, so to be fair, I'm just saying. I also like the fact that I hated the Montoya, though. I hated Montoya, Barbara, where she confronts Barbara and goes, "Listen, Barbara, I think I'm just angry at Jim because I really like you still. And I think I really hold that tour against Jim." And I'm just like, oh.
Because in the beginning of the episode, they're trying to resolve their relationship by trying to be honest with one another. And Gordon's just like, no, I can't fully be honest of what I do at work because I'm in the middle of a pickle here for fuck's sake. And suddenly Barbara just goes and confronts Montoya because they're about to issue a warrant arrest on Gordon because they found a fucking witness to the murder of Cobblepot at the river, at the docks.
I'm like, she needs to go up to
random homeless guy.
Just some random homeless guy.
She needs to go. She needs to tell Montoya right now. I'm strictly Dickley, okay? Literally, okay? Right now, all right. So you need to just back off, okay? That's all. That's all. I
rewatched that video that we recorded from last week's episode when I brought up the Wayne's World reference. I laugh every time I brought that up. Just get over it. Go out with somebody else. Like that was just perfection of that reference.
Which I think it's really weird though. I think it's really just like she's like a stalker that won't like literally. It's like that one thing where it's like where remember that meme where the guy holds the woman's hand and he goes like this like it's like literally like Barbara's like the one going looking at Jim like ooh, and then Montoya's like like It's like literally move on, okay? Barbara's moved on. You should be happy for her, okay? You can literally find any chick you want in Gotham, okay? Any chick. All right.
It's not like there aren't any attractive ones there. There are. So like just let it go.
Yes. Act like the song Frozen song and just let it go.
Like to quote Morty from Rick and Morty, like get your shit together. Get all your shit, put it into a bag of some kind at the Get Your Shit Together store, and then get your shit together and get out.
It's like she wants Barbara so bad.
They've only been together for like a year. That they've only
year.
dated for like a year.
It's like, and then I mean, you know what's weird though? It's just like Barbara. You know, it's like Montoya is just like that stalker that just walking out binoculars. She's just like, hey,
She's fucking Stacy from Wayne's World. Doesn't fucking stop it. With
she's
stalking him.
She's just bringing another chick. She got to move in next door, bring another chick.
Dude, every time she comes up, I have a feeling that Barbara was like, "Oh God, don't make eye contact, Sacco hose beast."
I mean, she's like, and she even admits, the only reason I'm wanting to arrest him, 80% of it is so that if I put him in jail, I have a shot with you. Don't admit that, because then she could use that in court against you. Literally,
you can get that thrown out.
Because you're not supposed to be talking, you're not supposed to be making contact, because anything, it's like they say, anything you say can and will be used against you for the court of law.
That applies for the people arresting the person too.
Yeah, when they were making Miranda rights.
Barbara, like literally, you're hurting the case. I thought you were gonna say because whenever she's there by you.
First of all, she opens her fucking big mouth. She's the worst kept secret. She's just gonna tell everybody.
You know, she's literally hurting the case.
She's an incompetent, unloyalist girlfriend in the world.
Fucking fly right here, man. I was like, fucking get the fly.
I thought you were ranging out for Barbara and Montoya. I was like, fuck, get the fuck out of here.
The fucking fly. I'm just like, fucking fly.
Like, I hate this plot line. Hated this plot line.
I hate this plot.
Gordon,
I
do like the ending. I do like the ending, though, where Gordon gets arrested. He's about to be thrown in the cell. Montoya is like, you got a problem with us if you're arresting him and all of that. And then Cobblepot shows up and Bullock just blows a gasket. And that's how the episode ends. Like, you son of a do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So
Yeah, when Cobblepot shows up in the flesh, that exonerates him.
Also, honestly, this is where I'm like, this is like where I had the biggest issue. I love that part. But I'm like, Cobblepot, it was the stupidest thing for Cobblepot to literally walk through that door, because here's the thing. All right. If you walk through that door and they know it, they're going to tell Falcone and they're going to tell Fish. And you know what? One of them's like, I'm going to do this for Fish. And like Bullock or somebody shoots Fish and he shoots, Fish, and he shoots you in the face for Fish. Or here's another thing. How did he know that? Oh, Gordon's going to be arrested right now, so that he just I got to rush down to the police station. Like what if he would have waited 2 days?
To quell from pitch meeting, it's going to be super easy, barely inconvenience.
I'm like, I did like though when he was in the car though, and like with Maroney, and they're like, if my men don't come out of the room, you're dead. Like because Maroney says to see if Cobblepot telling the truth. He goes, if my men don't come out of the Falcone's building, he says, guess what? You're not going. This will be the last trip you ever make with us, because he's like, I'm gonna kill you if my men don't run out. And then he sees the man, he's like, whoo, because he was kind of scared for a minute, like, oh god, because remember that scene with Falcone and his right hand man are in the car with the Cobblepot, and they're waiting for their goons to come back and get in the van. And he goes, if my men don't get out of that, come back in that van, you're dead. I'm like, he's like, oh shit. He's just sitting there waiting in the passenger seat, and he's like, oh. he's like, see, he was telling the truth, you little penguin. He said he was telling the truth. He's like, I do like the end though, especially whenever why would you bring Gordon though to the GCPD that's is corrupt? Why would you go to the MCU?
Like, were you supposed to take him to the MCU and not take him to the GCPD? Where was the logic in that? It made no sense. I guess they don't have the budget for another build to build a set of that MCU building. I guess they just didn't have the budget for it.
We're taking him to the MCU. That way he can fight Thanos in 2019.
Yeah, that way he can just fight Thanos. Just ditch him in.
Gordon and Montoya and this guy, Crispin Allen. All of a sudden, it's Avengers Assemble, and he goes, boo, 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 for Gotham. And they're like, what?
Like, what? You're in the wrong universe, dude.
But no, but I just thought that was kind of dumb. Like, why are they bringing them to this precinct? I mean, I'm sure Gotham has a lot of other police stations, but yeah, I'm sure it's like this is a cheaper sound station. So I'm like,
no, because we need the scene to happen. We need Cobblepot to show up at the same place at the same time.
I could have swore when I originally saw this that Gordon was sitting at his desk and getting up, and then that's when they arrested him. I thought that, which I would have done that instead. It wouldn't have made more sense for.
Yeah,
Gordon.
you're supposed to. Yeah, it would have made more sense if you arrest him while he's at work and not at his home.
Yeah, just it made no sense. I thought that was kind of dumb. So I was like,
yeah,
it was
really
to the police
stupid.
station where all the crooked cops are going to be, and they're going to get in our face. And there's only two of us.
There's only hundreds, like 30 of them in the precinct, and only 2 of you.
Yeah. So good luck, and you have and so they could easily just kill you both and then throw you out in the river.
Yeah, you're surrounded by corrupted cops.
Yeah, because literally, next episode we find out that all of them work for Falcone, or at least they're in fear of Falcone.
Well, let's get to scores. Collins 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
All right, Matt.
This was a bad episode. I'm giving it a 4.
I'm going to side with Collins this time. I will go 5 because of the ending. I'll give it a little bit extra, but
hey, at least I got the first one.
This is easily the worst of the 3 and the worst episode of the season so far, and it's not even close. But let's get into the last episode and easily the best one of the 3, Penguin's Umbrella. Matt?
Next Monday, Gotham's Day of Reckoning
Gordon didn't kill Penguin like he was told.
is here.
You want to start a war over the guy that carried your umbrella?
He knows things.
They want to push me, I'll push right back.
I think I know the spot to hit him.
Where is Gordon?
He wouldn't come without a struggle.
I'll send Victor.
Hey, Jim!
Jim! Try something.
Gotham, followed by Sleepy Hollow. All new next Monday on Fox.
This episode aired on November 3rd, 2014, and it's directed by Rob Bailey. Exonerated Gordon tells Barbara to leave Gotham. Cobblepot leads Maroni enforcer Frank Carbone and 2 other henchmen to Nicolia's hideout, killing the latter and Carbone by buying the loyalties of the henchmen. Montoya and Allen begin cooperating with Gordon. The escalating mob war is settled with a land trade between Maroni and Falcone. A drunken Bullock reevaluates his choice for helping Gordon, and the 2 partners attempt to arrest Mayor James and Falcone, but they give up when it's revealed that Falcone and hitman Victor Zsasz have Barbara, who had returned to try and negotiate with Falcone for Gordon. Falcone allows the trio to leave. Yeah, I do agree that 100% that this is easily the best one, and we got Victor Zsasz reveal in this episode when he was at the GCPD precinct, and it's actor, which you may have known him, that he plays Metamorpho in James Gunn's Superman movie, and he was in Barry.
Yeah, I was going to start off by talking about Victor Zsasz, but I mean, he is just unsettling in this episode. Like, just his look, like the way like he hunts Jim, and how like when he kills that cop, he like. And I know this is what Victor Zsasz is like in the comics, so I'm familiar with what all goes down there. But just his presentation here, just give credit to this show for just making him look like a creep, and he absolutely was.
I like the fact, like, I love him in the Arkham games, how he's just a serial killer that has a tattoo.
He skins people alive just for the sake of it, and he scars himself to mark his victims that he kills.
Which I like. I kind of always wanted like Victor as a serial killer that just kills people and then like I've always wished they would have like. I was hoping when what if Gotham did an episode where like they're hunting down a serial killer that kills people, and then like you find out like it looks like a modern, ordinary citizen, and then like he takes off his shirt and you see all the scars on his face and body, and then
Yeah, they did not make him a serial killer. They made him like a henchman, like a hitman, assassin. He's more of the assassin.
Like what we got though was really good. I thought he was really well done. Like he's creepy, but I understand. The only thing is I hated they did that same thing in Birds of Prey, and honestly, that dude's not even Victor Zsasz. It's just Zsasz and name only.
The Victor Zsasz in Birds of Prey was just like he wasn't even close to what Victor Zsasz like is.
He's bald. Okay, Victor's supposed to be bald because he literally is basically a neo-Nazi. He scars, like he kills people and then carves their flesh. He is an evil, twisted, sick individual, and that's the whole point of his character. He's evil.
Like
this one they did went a little. They went a little bit of off the source material for the comic books.
But I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like unlike Birds of Prey.
No, and it wasn't. He was a frightening, creepy assassin, and everybody in the GCPD was just backing the fuck off because they were on fucking Falcone's payroll, and Jim is just a lone man, a one man's army.
Which I love whenever he goes, Jim Gordon, and everything, and like Jim Gordon said, there are 30 cops that are gonna try something, and then all of a sudden he goes, everyone out now, and then everyone just gets up and goes, no. He says, police.
He's like, I don't need that stress, and
he's got the two henchmen women who look like they coming from the Matrix, those extras from the Matrix and the fucking rave party.
Too. I'm like, why does he need? He doesn't need henchmen. He's that good.
He's supposed to be a hitman.
Talk about a clumsy rebound though. Like Bullock goes from "you better not see me alive. Next time I see you alive, I'll kill you," to half drunk with a random woman that he met on the street, be like, "I'll fight for you."
Like, I'll fight for you. I just gotta get laid first, get drunk before I die.
He goes and has sex in his bedroom. I'm like, motherfucker, that's no. He goes,
why couldn't you do it at your place?
You brought this woman over here. Basically, he's like, well, Jim, since I'm dying for you tomorrow, I am gonna screw in your bedroom.
Like,
I'm gonna have sex with this woman in the bedroom, in your bedroom.
We have these things called hotels. Find one.
Like, yeah, at least use the guest bedroom at least. I was like, no, I don't want to use that. He said, me and Barbara sleep there. I don't want Barbara to find out. Like,
first of all, how can Barbara be this fucking stupid when she's supposed to leave town and she goes back and goes to Falcone to negotiate to keep Gordon alive, which that was not very bright of her. Like you just know that you just put yourself in the crosshairs and they're going to use you as a leverage. How stupid can she really be?
Okay, first off, I do like when Zsasz killed that cop and then he carves her a mark, just like in the comics, how he kills somebody and makes a mark. But that was really cool, and I do like Montoya. The first thing I've ever seen Montoya do in the show that was good was saving Jim, from Zsasz, because Zsasz was going to kill him. Zsasz had him.
Well, yeah, they resolved their differences because she was wrong about him. Because Cobblepot being alive, it exonerates him.
Yeah, which I will say though. I do like that they brought him to like a veterinarian to like get better, like a vet doctor.
They can't even take him to the hospital. Like they took him to the veterinarian where there's a bunch of cages of rats.
Even the doctors are corrupt in Gotham.
Yeah, that's true. They got a ton of moles.
Which in which I thought was really cool is that Penguin just walking around with two goons, and he's just like, and then they're like, don't walk where the Penguin walks. And he's like, And then they kill Nikolai, which is Fish Mooney's man. And he just goes like this, and then he goes, and then the guy's like going to turn, then Maroni's right-hand man turns on the Penguin, and then it becomes like a Dark Knight situation. Remember in Dark Knight where like the men are like, they want work for the freak, and he goes, this man grabs him and he goes, why don't you show your man how?
Oh yeah, they definitely took notes from the Dark Knight.
It feels like Penguins, and then the Penguin does mean and they grab.
Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you the pooches?
Yeah, Penguin's like, they like me more than you because I paid them. And then he goes and stabs him.
He goes, he's getting into the position of power, and we already know that Cobblepot is playing double agent.
Penguin's going full puppets tied up in strings this episode.
The strings.
I do like when Fish goes to see him, Maroni, and says, "I want Penguin." There's the thing, and so he said, "I was like, Miss Mooney, and they said, Miss Mooney, if I've ever caused you any pain, and then she goes, you lying little bitch. And I'm like, when she called him a little bitch, I'm like, oh, damn. He says, and then all of a sudden he goes fish, and then she Will Smiths him in the face and says, keep my name out your fucking
mouth.
Literally, that's actually what happens. Like, literally, she does do that to him, like in the episode. You know, only it wasn't Chris Rock. You know,
he got the Chris Rock slap.
He got the Chris Rock treatment.
Except that he got the clawed in the face as she bitch slapped him.
Yeah. So So Ryan, put that clip in of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, but just put Penguin.
That's your one per episode.
He's like, ugh. So basically, yeah. But so basically, I did like though whenever she does like smack him, and then she goes, "Don't ever call my friends call me fish. You don't ever call me fish. You disgusting little." And she grabs him by his throat. And Maroney's watching the whole thing like, "That's funny. That's funny." He's like, "That's funny." You know.
Oh, he doesn't give a shit about him. He's just using him.
Then she just calls him. Then she does this like, like she's like. Which I'm just like, oh, she wants him bad. She goes, I want to kill you so badly. I just want, which, and then like all of a sudden, Butch, her right hand man, Butch, just gets a bunch of nuns together in a band and then ambushes.
Yeah, I find that very funny. It's like, what are they using the nuns for? Oh, they're using it as a distraction to get to so they don't run over to take away fucking Maroney's artillery, his arsenal.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny, and then afterwards, Falcone and Maroney meet, and they're like, "You killed my man, I killed yours. Nikolai, you killed Nikolai, I killed your right hand man, Joseph." Goes,
well, Falcone is trying to prevent a war, the whole gang war. He's trying to fucking de-escalate the situation.
Meanwhile, Penguin's trying to create this war, which
it seems like that's what he wants.
Yeah, I thought that was. I mean, Falcone could easily wipe Maroney off the map,
So for the flashback, in a flashback to the night that they had met Gordon, it is shown that Cobblepot and Falcone had formed a deal in which Falcone would place Gordon in charge of killing Cobblepot, giving Cobblepot a chance of surviving. In exchange, Cobblepot would ally with Maroney, snitching for Falcone, and Cobblepot told Falcone about Mooney and Nicolai in their plan. And it is revealed that Falcone spread Gordon's life due to Cobblepot's request. So that's the part I did not see coming about the whole the plot twist, that the moment that he comes up to Falcone and they were just hugging it out, like, wait, what the hell just happened? They planned the whole thing about having Gordon be the one to fake the whole death, which I feel like Cobblepot played a whole gamble. That what if he actually did shoot him in the head?
That they landed on a 6. He was like,
he was gambling, hoping that Gordon would have a conscience and fake his own death. Like, you really thought that you really believed that at that moment? What if it didn't? What if he actually shot you in the head?
I was wrong.
And your plan would have failed. Your plan would have completely escalated.
And then because we remember, we know, why we know, because they show in the recap every episode of the Penguin saying his iconic line. What's his iconic line, Ryan, in the show?
There's a war coming. A terrible war.
There's a war. A terrible war coming. Oh, we know. We know.
It seems to me he was playing an act, and it feels like he's definitely playing both sides. He's literally playing both sides on the Falcone and Maroney. He really wants this war, and I feel like he's really just taking every opportunity to get the position of power of Gotham and have them both kill each other.
Every side. He's playing every side against each other.
He's an opportunist. He's playing an opportunist
because he wants to be on top. We know, just like he did the Batman show.
Just like in the Penguin series, the one on HBO series.
He wants to, like he said, he's like, I can.
Oh yes, come to think of it, when you think about it, when you look back on the show, The Penguin, the writers of the show really took notes from Gotham. Really think about it; they literally took notes from it. Cobblepot is literally playing both sides.
They had to make sure that they weren't doing the same storyline as the,
They kind of took the similarity to the story. It seems very similar.
Which I will say I did like, though, whenever he go, like, I do like when they go to Wayne Manor and like Alfred has Crispin Allen at knife point, and he goes, "Gordon, is that you?" And then he goes like, and they go inside. They go in Bruce Wayne.
Dude, he went stealth. He went stealth mode on that cop, that detective in that car. He thought there was someone about to break in. Like, dude, don't fuck with Alfred. He is a fighter. He has experience.
The guy was in the Royal Marines. Yeah,
he was in the Marines.
Which I thought was really cool, though. I really thought was great. Was whenever he goes to tell Bruce, he goes, "Look, Bruce, I might die tomorrow, but I need you." Montoya.
He was literally, he's literally like giving his little bit of a suicide note, basically to Bruce, because he's going on a suicide mission that he may not make it out alive.
And Alan just assures him, goes, "We will look into this. I promise you, we will bring them."
And he gave him a big hug, which I thought that was a touching moment.
I like that whenever, like, which I mean, Montoya should have said, "Unless you get with Barbara, then we won't have any issues." It's like,
yeah, if Barbara had not done the dumbest thing ever by having her go back to Gotham to try to confront Falcone to make sure that he does not get himself killed, that was not the smart idea, because now you just gave them an opportunity to use it as a fucking leverage.
I do like how they use the mayor to go there. They go to the mayor. They go to Falcone's house. To which I'm like, even Falcone, when he was just waiting on them, he was just literally knew that they were coming in. He knew that they were coming. And he was just like, "Welcome." And then he goes, all of a sudden, he's like,
but dude, Gordon would manage to get a warrant? Like, how did you be able to get a warrant for his arrest when you need the judge's approval?
Yeah, like, obviously, even like, he's like, "You would never make it out of this drive." He knew it's true. He's like, "You would never make it out of the drive."
No, you not going to make it out alive, dude. You're only 2 against 20, unless you're a really good shot, which he is a soldier. He was in the army.
I think Jim could make it out of the driveway. I don't ever think they would make it into lockup, though.
True.
I think they would make it out of the driveway. I don't think they'd make it out of the city, though, because Falcone would make sure that.
No, he's got everybody on the payroll in the city. He's literally the mayor of Gotham.
Yeah, Fish would take advantage of that and put a hit on and say, "Kill Falcone."
Excommunicado. Yeah. Excommunicado.
It would be like that scene with the movie
from John Wick. From John Wick, everybody would just like he's excommunicado. Everybody's hunting him.
I mean, but what I thought was really interesting though about it was like he told him the exact same truth. Like, she's in the kitchen, which I really wish they would not have shown him her in the kitchen. I wish they would have waited, because them showing it like, oh, he's telling the truth. But I'm like, I like the idea. Is he lying or isn't he? But then you show it and he's telling the truth. I'm like, that kind of undercuts.
That should be like the end, when everything gets resolved, where he has to say, okay, he's dropping his guard. And then later, yeah, he does tell the truth. But that was in the middle before he dropped his guard. Like, wait, what?
But I understand you're waiting to see, like, is he going to trust Falcone? Because we know Falcone, which like Harvey, like, he's a liar. He's going to murder us. He's going to kill us either way. We're either going to die from his hands, or we're going to die from his. We're going to get shot. He said, either way, we're screwed. And he says, at least we can die heroes. And then he's like, what Jim Thorne's like, he says, I'm gonna. And then all of a sudden, which any other Falcone from any other version would just murder him. He'd be gone. John Turturro,
yeah. He's more like Falcone in this one was more of a soft version.
Yeah, because he knows he's more of an older, wiser guy. He's like, look, I will kill you, but he says at the same time,
he thinks that in order to keep the city from going into chaos, he has to rule them by fear and control of the whole city, but not in the way that what the other mobs like Maroni would do.
Yeah, he says, I don't want to just kill people to kill people. He's like, I don't kill people unless I have to. And I don't hurt children, or men, women, or children. And he said the only time I hurt women is if he says they need to be hurt, which is a messed up thing to say, but like that is the way Falcone looks at that's his ideology, where it's like, look,
that's his ideology.
He goes, he's like, I mean, who was the good? He's kind of like Robert De Niro in Goodfellas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I will say this though, I thought with Victor his ass in the kitchen with Barbara though, and he's like, and then the girl makes cookies and he goes, and he goes, these are not for you, and then he goes, but you can have one, Barbara.
The cookie, the part of the cookie when Falcone eats the cookie, I thought for a moment that girl fucking poisoned him. For that moment, I thought he was poisoned for that moment.
I did also like, the thing that made me laugh is Gordon just was pretty dumb to just get an arrest warrant for Falcone. Like literally just goes up there like nothing ever happened. Like Fish was even saying he went to work like nothing happened. Like literally, he's like all of a sudden he just goes to work like nothing ever happened. And I thought that was really. And Fish was like, "That's crazy," and I was like, "It's really dumb of you to like." Everybody's looking at him like, "You're a dead man. Why are you here?" Like I would have been skipping town. Instead, he's
First
like,
of all, you can't issue a warrant if you needed the fucking judge's approval.
even if you arrested him and got conviction, that's even the captain's trying to tell him, even if you got a conviction, you're not going to give him for Falcone. You don't have any proof.
For all you know, he's got the judges in their back pocket. You really think he's not going to have himself bail out of jail by the time from the next day?
Also, I really, really liked. I thought that was so funny that Victor Zass's ringtone is Funky Town.
That was a little odd, little just like ringtone choice. The Funky Town.
He's like, "Yo, what's up?" Okay, all right. And then he's like,
I thought it was funny, but let's go to scores. Collins 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10.
Okay, Matt.
For once, I actually agree with Jake. It's an 8 out of 10. This is we're in a sabbatical.
I agree. We are in agreement. I will go 8 as well. This is the best of the 3 by a very wide margin. Very good episode, and I minus the "it's a war coming." I think Penguin is the most
terrible
interesting
war.
part.
By the way,
Penguin
what
is
is
the most interesting part of this show.
By the way, what's
Yeah,
the
he
next
really started to grow on me. I'm starting to buy him as Penguin more and more I
What
watch
are the
him.
next 3 episodes called?
The next
Okay.
3 are called The Mask, Harvey Dent, and Lovecraft.
That's why you were asking that, because I think you were hoping that
No,
Harvey Dent was going to get brought
I
up.
actually did not know what the next 3 episodes were going to be. That's why I was like,
So yeah, because you mentioned before that the actor who was in Final Destination 5, he does play Harvey Dent in the Gotham show.
Oh wow!
So, and the Mask episode, I don't know. I don't know.
You mean
how
Jim
you
Carrey's The Mask?
No, Jim Carrey's not. It's referring to a famous Batman villain that appeared in Birds of Prey as well.
Smoking.
It's referring to a famous Batman villain that appeared.
I know.
Also in Birds of Prey.
I'm being facetious.
Well, what did you all think of these 3 episodes? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. And it's a privilege to do this show every single week with these guys. I hope you all have a happy Independence Day, or had a happy Independence Day. We're recording this on the 3rd. The 4th is tomorrow. So
naked in the water.
I hope that you all left. I hope that you all leave your glasses of milk and chocolate chip cookies for Kurt Angle tonight. But Collins, where can the people find you?
They can find me. They can find me defending off aliens and F-16 fighter. Me, Will Smith, and all them, and Jeff Goldblum. Because we got and then Bill Pullman. Fighting off aliens on the 4th of July. 3dmoviecinema.com, where I will have a review tomorrow for Jaws. So that's why I'm wearing. I have a review for Jaws coming tomorrow, and I will be reviewing Jaws. And so I don't know next week if I might have 2 reviews coming out or 1, but I will definitely by next Friday have a review for Superman out, the new one, the James Gunn one. And you can find me at 3D Movie Cinema, where we do talking silence. I mean, not talking silence, small talk. Not small talk.
Small talk's over, dude.
Yeah, Gotham talk, talking Gotham every Tuesday. Kitchen Talk season 2 is coming soon. We will be doing, and then we have another Road 2 we're doing, us, and then of course, and the Man of Steel reviews dropping soon. So
All right, Matt Wyatt, what about you?
You can find my YouTube channel at Matt Wyatt92. I just put up my review of F1, the movie, and my non-spoiler review for Jurassic World Rebirth. And by the time this video goes up, in a couple of days, James Gunn's Superman movie will be coming up, and I will have my review because I booked my tickets for the opening day.
All right, all those links will be in the description. Go give them a subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. As far as this channel goes, we'll be covering some Fantastic Four stuff coming soon. Naked Gun is coming down the way, so a lot of fun stuff coming up. So if you have not subscribed, please do. We would greatly appreciate it. But for Jacob Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cannon. The streets are never safe in Gotham, so keep your head on a swivel. We will see you all next week. Y'all take care.